There they are. There they
Yo.
are.
How's it
Folks.
going, everybody?
Hey, there it is. Hey, guys. Oh, thank you for those claps, Reina Mystique. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut the alerts just for the time being. Howdy, folks. Nate, Hank, Svensson. How you guys doing? How y'all doing today? Thank you for being on here.
Well, thanks for having us, man. I'm doing great.
Can I hear how you say your last name so I can stop being a prick?
Svensson.
Svensson.
Svensson. It's an extremely Swedish last name.
It's like Smith in Sweden.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's literally like a Svensson in Sweden is like Joe. It's like the average Joe. That's what you call. Like that's the Swedish equivalent of the average Joe is a Svensson.
What are you? Some kind of Svensson? Some kind of Svensson? It's just every day, baby, every day. Look at that cute little face. Which one, Nate or Hank? Or are you talking about? I think
they were talking about you, Mike.
I think they're talking about Dusty. I think that. Look at this. Now we're gonna talk to Dusty. Sorry, Nate. You're now Dusty. Okay, I'm gonna stop just being stupid. This is just.
No, I can't.
We're just wasting people's time at this point. So I can stop being a prick, yeah, because that's all it will take, yeah.
Mike, I told you that we were going to keep it nice and easy for you, and then you came out with all that spice before we could even come on and try and keep it casual with you.
Listen, we're trying to. Well, look, you guys are Casual Cognition, and I actually liked your last episode where you guys were talking about how like numbers are being used in arguments these days, and you can kind of like skew numbers to sort of fit your argument and stuff. I don't know, like you guys were talking big words and stuff and things, and I was getting a little sweaty and confused. So can you guys kind of go over what your last podcast episode was about, just so everybody gets a feel of what you guys do? Also, Valo has been on the podcast, and Aaron Goldberg of Twitch. So you guys,
I really enjoyed talking to Valo. So
oh shit, I didn't do the thing. Damn it. Okay, I didn't do the thing, you guys. The one thing I forgot to do was put your guys' information on there. Please, could you let us know?
I thought it was doing a hot boy summer for us. I thought that's what you forgot to do. It's okay. We can put that at the end.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait on the hot boy summer, okay? Like it's a hot take summer at this point. Yeah, Aaron Goldberg is amazing. But please, could you kind of explain what you guys were, getting at in your last? Well, not the last one. I shouldn't say. It's the second before last one. So you guys came out with a new one called Erotic Enunciations, which I have not dived into. But
let's just say it's just a random chat one. Sometimes Hank and I just do free form ones, and I try and come up with funny names. So that was my attempt at a bad joke and alliteration. But Hank, you wanna give him a little preview?
Yeah, so the one from two episodes ago, we got into talking about statistics a little bit. We didn't go too deep. We didn't do too much of a deep dive, but basically we were just like talking about how it's pretty common and like weirdly easy to, if you just look at a specific piece of the data, you can like bring forth these very convincing and smart sounding statistics that make your argument seem like it's legit when it's just complete bullshit. And we went through some different examples of that, and then we talked a little bit about like studies as well, and how just kind of the pitfalls with like just reading the abstract of a study and then using that as like, see, look, I'm right, rather than actually going into it and seeing how it's done, and taking the time to actually like look at the methodology. And of course nobody has time for that because it's the fucking internet, but like if you want to be legit, then it makes sense to do a little bit more of a deep dive than I think most people do, including us. Like, we're complete and utter hypocrites, but it's It's always
I've
good
been
to...
guilty of it too. I've been guilty of it too.
Well,
But
yeah.
these days, I think I've gotten into a better habit of looking into things, and I think looking into the methodology of studies and statistics, like what is behind various statistics, is important if you're going to use them to define your opinions on them. And just because a study doesn't have perfect methodology doesn't mean it's completely wrong, but you have to use it as like a data point rather than saying like, oh, well, this is the truth because this study says it is the truth. And even if a study has really good methodology, you still can't say, okay, well, this is the definitive truth because this study has good methodology, and it comes to this conclusion. There's almost always ambiguity, and if you're making the effort to go through like a full-on double-blind randomized trial with a large sample size, like that takes a lot of money and time and effort. And usually the reason why you have to do that is because the answer, the truth, isn't that easy to find. So they're trying to put forth a lot of effort to find that truth. And so if you talk to like a researcher, if you look at like what they say about this kind of stuff, they'll very rarely say like, oh yeah, this is the case because of this. They'll say something like, the evidence that we've been led to leads us to believe this particular conclusion is likely the truth. But most people who are actually involved in research science, they use collated data of a lot of different sources and a lot of different studies to try and point towards the truth. But it's very common for laymen to say, just, well, here, I found a study, and you never know where it's coming from. Usually they haven't looked at the methodology, but you can find a study to back up almost any opinion that you want to have.
Yeah, I see this a lot with not only in the media, but like I see this a lot with people who debate a lot, like educators and people who are in the education realm, especially higher learning or in the universities, where you have them talking and reciting these statistics and using all these crazy big words, and I almost feel like it's like word karate. And you know what I mean? Like they're just out there.
I know exactly what you mean.
And by the end of the debate, like nothing has been debated really, other than like them just sort of rattling off these statistics. And I just feel like there's a lot of those like, especially those big debates that you see on like Twitch or YouTube, where there's like, there's like 10 people in a Zoom call, and they're all sort of just taking shots at each other and citing off things, but citing off facts or stats. And at the end of it, it's just like nothing was really solved. No one really made a point about anything, and it was just sort of this word karate that just, and they just barrage the audience. And like I'm kind of educated, so I can understand mostly what's going on. But I do feel like how you guys were saying, like if a layman person came in there who was just, was just interested in a certain topic, and they were trying to listen to these people debate it, I could see how people would be like, fucking, what is even happening here? This is ridiculous. People are not even trying to talk. People aren't trying to talk to me. They're just trying to talk and get their point across, or at least try. It's like they're not even convincing anybody of anything. It's just like blah 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 blah.
Yeah. They're not talking to each other. They're trading monologues, basically.
Exactly.
They're using each other to set up their own monologue, and there's not really any communication going on between the two parties. There's just the person who is talking is trying to communicate to whoever they think is watching them or going to watch them.
Yeah. Your prior guest used word karate. Yeah. You know what? That is one thing about my guest that was on, and I think Nate was there too. I think you were there for that one. what I fucking forgot. Christian Watson, and Christian's
Yeah.
he's a young dude. And he's educated. He's a very smart guy.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, me too. But you know, like I felt like he had his sort of set answers that it didn't feel like it was much of a conversation, rather than like he just sort of had his memorized answers for whatever fits the topic, and then he just sort of repeated that. And nothing against Christian, he's a well-spoken young dude. Like I love him. I know. Well, I should stop calling him a young dude, because he hates the fact that people are they judge him because he's young, and they don't think that he has his thoughts together, and you know, whatever. You guys can think whatever you guys want about him, but he's just doing his thing.
He's
you
got
know?
a little bit more to learn about communication.
Right, and he has to get.
I think he's going to go places. It's not. He doesn't strike me as a bad person, even though I disagree with him.
Right, exactly. He's not a bad person. It's just that this is how he thinks, this is how he acts, and this is what his career trajectory is taking him, and that's what he wants to do with it, and that's fine. I'm very happy that he's doing that, and this is still a free country, kind of. So, you know, go get yourself some. Go get yourself some. I appreciate Nate's diplomacy. Yeah. Training monologue speaking to their own audience. Yeah, that's to me. It's not much of a conversation, and I don't feel like a lot gets done when you're just sort of focusing on numbers and this and that. And I've been, you know, like you guys are saying, like maybe I think maybe you said it in the podcast, but you know, we've all done it. We've all done this thing where we just quote some study that we saw to kind of push a point across, and I do it a lot. And then you find out, like, you know, the study was, you know, there was no double-blind placebo, whatever it was, you know, there was nothing. It was all just hearsay, and that person said. So
I've been wrong so many times.
Yeah.
And I would hate to have somebody judge me now based on my opinions that I had at 22.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, right? It's like, because you had an opinion at 22 that was public, now that is your opinion for the rest of your life.
Yeah. That's just a snapshot of who I am. That's not, and that's one thing that is actually a real big problem these days of like now we are more than just ourselves in the moment or in our recent past and recent future.
Yeah.
Now there's so much that stays around. And I heard somebody make this joke the other day. I forget exactly who it was, but it was like, remember the old trope of like the high school principal being like, "This is going on your permanent record."
Yes.
And you know, everybody laugh about it because like, yeah, that the permanent record, that's just a scare tactic. Well, now there's like a social media permanent record.
Yeah.
Where if you fuck up at 21 and you know you get a public image and somebody finds out at 31, you know, you're gonna have to explain yourself.
Yeah. You got a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah.
What about you, Hank? You got anything in your past that would come bubbling up if you got to a certain point in your in notoriety?
He's a real bastard.
He's a real son of a bitch.
I mean,
He's been
I
real
gotta
rehab.
say, I was a fucking piece of shit when I was in 6th grade. Like, I was just a straight up asshole. I did so many
garbage.
horrible things. So I'm really glad that was before.
You should have heard the things he said about Barack Obama. It was ruthless.
Not Barack.
No, but like seriously, like I'm just glad that I grew up in a time where I didn't have a smartphone in 6th grade. I had a fucking what was it called? It was like one of those ones where you could have like 4 pre-programmed numbers in the phone.
Yeah.
And then like I just set them all to my buddies' numbers, and then like but
the calculator.
I did some exactly. Yes. I did some pretty fucked up shit when I was in 5th and 6th grade. So I'm just glad that I wasn't around and I wasn't posting shit on MySpace and stuff.
What
so
you doing, like hate crimes or something? What constitutes as fucked up?
Just like being a general dick.
Yeah. Well,
dude,
like,
we got into some
not giving a shit
shenanigans in
about people.
Sedona
Young
in high
boys.
school.
Yeah.
Young boys.
We did some. It wasn't anything too horrible, but
No.
I remember. I remember one time I was driving down a road and my buddy, I had a crowbar in the back of my truck, and there was somebody he really didn't like, and he hit their mailbox with a crowbar while I was driving past it and like exploded the mailbox. But that was just like common shit. It was like Sedona's like a super small town where in high school, like the young guys would there's just roving bands of mischievous teenagers because there was nothing to do in town.
Yes.
So there was a lot of like just like classic like 80s shenanigans, like toilet papering and egging of houses. I remember some of our friends, they went out and they did this thing called porno pasting where they printed out like physical sheets of like porn images and they taped them to people's like houses and cars in a nice neighborhood.
Cow tipping in Lima, Ohio. Yeah, there you go. Cow tipping. No, this is what we used to do to each other.
I did cow tipping once.
I've never done cow tipping, by the way, everybody. Never done that. Never tipped a cow. Like I was just too afraid that I would hurt the cow. Like I was just never that guy who wants to go hurt the cow. Like I know it's not supposed to hurt him, but oh my God. I think they have churches in Sweden.
Yeah, those things are like boulders.
Valo said, well, with a name like Svensson, I'd expect him to have burned down at least one church. Yes. The Scandinavian bastards.
Not German. Come on now.
Wait, the Germans though, right? Or not? No, it was the Swedes, right? And the Scandinavians with the black metal and stuff. Is that what you're referring to, Valo? Like the black metal?
That would make more sense. That would make more sense.
I think they have church. Yeah. No,
they do.
A few
that only 2 people attend. Norwegian death metal. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I was kidding, but yeah. Thank you guys very much for getting us back up to on speed here. What we used to do to each other when MySpace was the thing. If we would leave our laptops open around, like, because I lived in a house, like it was basically like it was basically yeah, exactly. It was basically like the littlest frat house. It was just awful. Like there was just like it was like 4 dudes living in a 2-bedroom apartment, shoebox, and like it had roaches and shit. It was gross, and we were just drunk all the time and doing just dumb shit. And so if they left their laptops out, we would get into their MySpace. And back then in MySpace, you used to be able to embed videos into your feeds, into your home pages. So we would go and embed like Brazilian fart porn or like, Shizen videos on each other's Shiza or Shizen, I don't know. But we would just have
scat videos.
Yes, exactly. And this is how we would play pranks on each other. And then that evolved into throwing just the left shoe on the roof. And that evolved into shitting on people's clothes. And then it evolved into smashing out each other's windows. So, it just good old-fashioned cisgendered white boy male fun.
I'm actually so curious as to whether people still do this kind of shit, like, or if it's gone down, because I feel like one of the main reasons we did that kind of stuff, at least Hank and I, is because we were just like incredibly bored.
Yeah.
And obviously teenagers, they love to be rebellious naturally, but it makes me wonder, like, I wonder if like they're taking their rebellion online, or are they still egging houses and toilet papering people and posting porn in places where people don't expect.
Which is hilarious. I'm sorry, but could you imagine if your mom's like scrolling through your MySpace back in the day and she sees like something that she could never unsee? Brazilian fart porn. I love that video, by the way. There's just like it's just like big old Brazilian butts like spread apart and a person behind their butt with their mouth open. And it's just like, and like some of them are like, oh my God. But they look really into it. I love it. Cis white dudes, thank you, autocorrupt.
Oh.
Yeah, autocorrupt. Destroying physical things will always be fun. I agree, Bonnie. It's just
I agree with that.
It's in us.
Yeah.
The small town thing. Here's the funny thing. All that stuff that was happening with the MySpace, that all happened while we were in San Diego, California, which is like an amazing city with lots to do. when we were in Ohio, it was more like let's snort OxyContin and fucking yell at people while they're on stage trying to perform, or let's go break mailboxes. Like growing up in a small town definitely puts this fire under your ass to figure shit out. And if you don't have the right direction, you and your fucking stupid little friends are just gonna be out there, blowing shit up and smashing windows and shit. I don't know, man. Like small town living is definitely like one of those things that I don't really care for. Like Toledo is big enough, but it's not. So it's big enough for me to find a space where I can go and be alone, but it's small enough to where I can't get decent food at like any hour of the day, and that pisses me off. So we take the good with the bad, whatever. Yeah. You sound like you were crazy. But that's also how some great discoveries have been made. Probably, that's true. That's true. Maybe that's how. I don't
Hank
know.
and I were lucky to grow up in Sedona.
Yeah. Why?
Like that was an incredible town in so many ways. I don't know if you know what like Sedona, anything about Sedona, Arizona, but it's one of the most beautiful places in the world, and there's a lot of magic to that place. Hank, I've been yapping a lot. You want to talk about Sedona at all? I could talk about Sedona all day. So,
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's a beautiful place for sure. Yeah, you can pull up some pics there.
There you go.
It's amazing. But it is kind of like you were saying, Mike. I mean, growing up there, if you're not into outdoor stuff, if you're not into hiking, which luckily we were somewhat, or I was. But it's definitely, there's not much going on there. Like it's a complete and utter tourist town. But when we were talking about earlier, I thought it would be good to just have a quick moment of silence for porno pasting, because I feel like it's just done. Nobody has printers anymore. It's all online, e-signatures and shit. Like, no way kids are doing that still.
Yeah,
There's
no
no
one
way.
cares. No one cares.
Who has a printer? Yeah.
I think that it would be really cool to do that, like as if kids, like, you know how things are coming back, like the 80s are coming back and the 90s are coming back. Like what if kids start bringing back like old like analog pranks instead of like
They're gonna go to like a Kinko's and print out some porn.
Where's the Kinko's at, by the way? It's like, but
Office Max,
yeah,
the last few in existence.
those are gone mostly. I just assumed the Wright brothers or whatever were smashing mailboxes, and then they were probably high and were like, I bet we can fly, man. Yeah, I agree. Mental! Holy shit, man. How you been? R.I.P. porn printing. Yeah, I agree. How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for that sub. Good to see you. Glad you're here. It's been a little bit. I hope you're doing okay. I know things are a little crazy over there, so I hope you're doing okay. Anyways, yeah, probably it's that small town living. But Sedona, I mean, like, is Sedona up like in the Northern Rim area? Is that where it considered the Northern Rim?
Yeah, it's up in northern Arizona.
Okay.
A lot of people have heard of Flagstaff, surprisingly,
Yes.
but not Sedona.
I've heard of Sedona, but I just never been. I've been to Flagstaff. I've been to Phoenix. I've been to Tucson. And but I've never been to Sedona, and wow, it looks really good. So is Sedona like a shitty deserty, like, is it like shitty hot up there too?
No, I mean it gets hot in the summertime, but it
It's
snows in the
pretty-
wintertime.
It snows?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It does snow sometimes, not very often, but you can get some snow there. But yeah, you definitely don't want to go in the summer. Just don't do it. It's not worth it.
But Sedona is like the mecca for hippies.
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
It's got some.
Oh, look,
it's
right
got
here.
some pretty wild conspiracy theories and like new age beliefs around it.
There you go. If that's not enough proof to you guys, spiritual Sedona. Hold on, let's go to the Guardian and see what spiritual Sedona is.
I'm not even exaggerating when I say there's probably as many crystal shops as there are restaurants in the town.
Busy month of work. No worries, Mental. I'm glad that you're okay. That's all. Spiritual Sedona, the Arizona town bursting with positive vibes. America's new age capital is brimming with tours, classes, and shops offering spiritual healing, but its most uplifting aspect is its dramatic setting amid rust-colored mesas and
There
butts.
you go.
Lots of butts out there. Locals call Sedona, Arizona, a cathedral without walls. It's not just the landscape, those red cliffs, mesas rearing up against a crisp and empty sky that inspired Hollywood producers of the 1930s and 40s to shoot westerns such as Broken Arrow and Stagecoach in the area. 3 million tourists a year come to this town of barely 10,000 nestled among towering rusty sandstone rock formations in the northern Verde Valley. Many of these visitors are pilgrims, particularly at this time of year, headed to Arizona to search for spiritual renewal.
And what they're not saying in there is that it's like the best place to do drugs.
So is there like a lot of hippies that are just like are they doing like now what kind of drugs like
it's like
drugs?
psychedelics,
Yeah.
Tons of psychedelics there. There's lots of ceremonies. Obviously we smoked a lot of weed whenever we were kids there, but
it's like one of the only high schools in the country where like weed is the main drug of choice over alcohol.
Right on, Valo. Enjoy your shower, buddy. That's tight. That's tight. I would prefer that. I wish that my school had a lot of hippies in it, but it wasn't. I mean, not everybody was smoking like that.
Yeah, it was like pretty much everybody.
But what this I do have to critique this this Guardian article here, because what locals actually call Sedona is a fucking black hole because nobody escapes.
Okay, so
yeah.
they're saying it down here a little bit, actually. Spiritual seekers across the country listen. In 1987, Sedona was to host one of the largest branches of the Harmonic Convergence, a new age synchronized meditation when 5,000 pilgrims came to get in touch with the universe at the Bell Rock Butte, believed by many to be a vortex. Okay, so I just saw vortex and I just thought people were like, it's a vortex here.
No, you want me to explain kind of one of the things that happened with that? This is like a famous incident in Sedona.
Okay.
Where a shitload of hippies got there and there's this big old monumental rock that just like juts out of this this valley area called Bell Rock, and it's right near one of the main roads that goes through the Sedona area. And it's a really common hiking spot. You can get up pretty high on the rock, and it's really fun to go on. But there was apparently this kind of like cultish view back then that it was going to be like some kind of spaceship or something. And
yeah,
so,
wasn't that for 2012?
I think it was for 2012. This might have been earlier, but this I think it's happened multiple times. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. But this time, a whole bunch of hippies got there and they completely circled this massive rock. And there had to be hundreds of them because the base is like, I mean, what would you guess, Hank? Like the trail around Bell Rock is probably 2 or 3 miles, like to go around the full circumference of it.
Yeah, I would say max. It's pretty. I mean, you can get up there if you're a local, fucking Spider-Manning up that shit.
Yeah, you can get up there
in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying.
It's not super big.
So wait, these hippies thought that this was going to be a spaceship, and they're like converging to. Oh, look at the.
Yeah, and they were holding hands around it.
And they're like, it's going to take us away.
Yeah, it was like classic cult move. I love it.
Wow, look at that. That's
something cool. About Sedona, like Hank was saying, it's a black hole, and like once it catches you in its gravity, it just like pulls you back in. I want to retire in Sedona.
Really?
Oh yeah. If there's one place anybody was like, all right, choose right now, you'd have to live here forever, it'd 100% be Sedona.
Why?
That's hard to say. I mean, I could obviously point to the fact that it's beautiful, but I think that there's just a magic about the place that, like when I go back and visit there, like it almost makes me like feel like tear up a little bit to leave because I love the area so much. And there's a lot of like weird beliefs around it. They say that there's these things called vortexes in the area.
Yeah,
That
that's
are
what it was.
these like energy vortexes. And I mean, I've been to vortexes and stuff. I didn't really feel anything specific, but I think there's something magical about the whole area that just draws me in.
Yeah.
And has
Is
made
there-
me fall in love with it.
Is there bases and stuff? Is there like military bases around there?
Well, yeah, I mentioned this in the Discord.
You did, but I couldn't remember if you were saying that if there was bases like I couldn't remember because it's such a small town. I didn't think that there was army bases nearby.
Well,
because then wouldn't the army base people like occupy a lot of that?
So, well, supposedly this is kind of an urban legend thing, and in addition to being this like hippie spiritual type capital, it's also like a huge UFO alien conspiracy.
Here we
place.
go. Here we go. Where's
Here
Moving
we
Dutchman?
go.
Moving Dutchman, if you're here lurking, then I guess this is your time to go, sir. Moving Dutchman does not like the conspiracy talk. But
well, this is a fun one because it has nothing to do with any kind of politics or anything like that.
Nice.
It's just classic alien Area 51 types conspiracy theory.
Let's go. I'm in it.
Okay. So the gist is that supposedly there's a secret military base right outside of Sedona, down one of the back roads that I actually used to live down. And I mean, Hank, did you ever see any of the helicopters go back behind that mountain and not come out the other side? I saw one or two, but that was like a common phenomenon that people talked about a lot.
I saw some Blackhawks flying around.
Yeah, there's definitely military traffic that goes in and out of the area.
But
and there is an airport. There's an airport in Sedona that actually John McCain used to fly into a lot because he had a house just outside of Sedona. And so I think that was actually one of like the classic conspiracy like cover up theories is like, oh, well, politicians have houses outside of Sedona, not because it's one of the most beautiful, peaceful places on the planet, but because they want to cover up the military traffic that goes in and out. So, take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But I have seen some military traffic go in and out of there. And if you walk down into this back road area and you hike into some of these like difficult to navigate canyons, you end up finding these signs that say this is government property, no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted, all the typical no trespasser signs. And apparently, I didn't get this far, but apparently people have gone out there and gotten turned back by armed guards. And the real kicker that kind of sold me a little bit on the theory and made me just think like, woohoo, maybe. So it used to be supposedly it used to be in this area, the base that was owned by this man, the last name of Bradshaw. I can't remember his first name, but if you look up Sedona Bradshaw Ranch, it'll come right up. And this guy was writing about aliens on his property and like interdimensional aliens on his property. And supposedly the government came in, bought up their ranch, built this military base on it, and then, paid him off to never write about it again.
Oh.
And it was near this place that we'd call Bradshaw Mountain a lot, but it was renamed. And I forget exactly what they called it again, but we used to just call it Bradshaw Mountain. And there was this girl that Hank and I went to high school with. I won't name drop her first name, but her last name was Bradshaw.
Oh.
And you remember, Hank? You remember the Bradshaw I'm talking about?
Yes.
So I asked her one day.
She mysteriously disappeared. No, I'm just kidding.
And we never heard from her again. So I asked her. Me and one of my other friends went up to her one day, and we were like, "Hey, so did you ever used to have like a grandfather or a great uncle or something that lived here?" And she without asking her about any of this alien shit, and she was like, "Yeah, my granddad used to own a ranch here, but the government came in and bought it, and he moved to Texas." And, apparently she had no idea what the fuck we were talking about, and me and my buddy were just looking at each other like, "What the fuck?
Whoa! And
It's real."
She
So
she was just like she just casually was just like, "Oh yeah, this is what
Yeah.
happened." Men
Yeah.
in Black about to show up, right? The stream's
Mhm.
about to go black. We're just gonna see
Yeah.
it not like this, like to shut it down.
I love the alien stuff. My granddad
too.
actually used to run the actual Area 51.
Huh? Like
Yeah,
run it?
he was the head researcher over at Area 51 for a while. He's a nuclear physicist.
Oh, how dare he? So wait, I mean, obviously he probably couldn't talk about what he was doing there, but did he talk about what he was doing there?
I mean, so even if you look into the alien conspiracy stuff about this, they always say Area 51 isn't the place.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, essentially what he hinted at to me was that it was just like top secret weapons research at Area 51. So, I mean, there was he definitely shut down the conversation fairly quick, which makes me wonder, but that would be the same thing you'd have to do if you had top secret military weapons clearance at the same time. So, it's obvious. It's a fun thing to say, but I didn't get anything juicy from him, and he actually fairly recently had a stroke, and he's still alive, but he's really slowed down now. So,
well, maybe now you can get him to talk.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I can go in there and interrogate him a little bit.
You get him dress up as his superior officer, dude, and fucking take him back to the good old days.
Oh,
Commander Sweet. Debrief.
Horrible.
This is a debriefing.
I need.
Am I real? I need to know about the others.
Oh my god!
The things he must know. They're always listening. Yeah, they are.
McCain was an alien.
Yeah, probably for real. Like that dude. I mean, he looked like a weirdo, but I mean, he was old though. You can't be too mean to him, I guess.
Oh man,
he was a goddamn hero. He was a goddamn.
Wasn't he a POW?
Yeah, he was a goddamn.
Lift up his
that's why his face was all fucked up.
Yeah, let's make fun of the POW.
Ouch.
I mean,
yikes.
The president did. Doesn't that mean it's on limits?
Right.
The former president.
Yeah, if the former president can take shots at him, then we can.
We're gonna stoop to that level. We're gonna really stoop to that level, you guys. Come on. We're better. We're better than that.
We are. Help
We're
us.
sitting here. We're Twitch streamers. We're above the level of Trump.
Yeah.
Like you said, he says a mean joke.
He can be funny. He can be funny, but like he's just the worst. He's just the fucking worst.
Piece of shit.
He's just the absolute worst. The B-2 pilots used to mess with people when the project was still secret.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
That's true. Yeah, the stealth bomber pilots, they used to kind of like they played around with it a little bit.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Just to like give people, just to throw people off. I mean, like to me, that almost seems like they're commanded to just to like do that, because the government will put out its own form of misinformation, and they'll just to throw people off the trail or something. So maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they're commanded to go and freak people out. So what do you guys think then? What's going on now with all these sightings at military bases? And I don't know. Did you guys see Phenomenon? Did you watch that documentary at all? Either of you guys?
I haven't seen it.
I didn't see the documentary, but I've been following the UFO news pretty closely.
Yeah,
I watched the Bob Lazar interview and some of the other stuff. Checked out checked out old Tom DeLonge. He's a fun one.
Dude.
Yeah,
Oh
Tom
man,
DeLonge.
I saw him live. I think he's a much more convincing punk rocker than he is a UFO guy. But
For sure.
But it was because of Tom that all this information was starting to come out. So
yeah, I can't hate on him.
It takes a fucking an insane rock star sometimes. This is why I get pissed off when people are like, if you're an artist or if you're a musician, he's like, you don't got nothing to say about nothing.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane. What the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck off.
It's like Tom DeLonge fucking uncovered all this shit. Now the government's saying it. It's like all throughout history, fucking musicians and artists have pushed any kind of progress forward. I mean, Bob Dylan, fucking... Come on, what the fuck? Like, I could go on and on, but I won't. I fear that Matt Suarez will pop in. He's like, here we go, talking about censorship again. And I have to be like, fuck you, Matt. You know what? Sometimes I'm passionate. I'm passionate. All right, so...
No, I get that. I mean, I made fun of Tom DeLonge for a while, and, you know, he was right in a lot of ways. He called a lot of this shit. Yeah. And it's... You know, you can't hate on him too much. I mean, I can make fun. I think it's okay to make fun of people. But yeah, I think that like you've got to give people certain space to speak. Now, I think that there's a line to be drawn in certain instances, but usually it's pretty clear like, okay, well, this is an extreme line. This person's really causing like major damages with what they're doing. And maybe we need to think about, you know, not letting them spread. It's a classic like fire in a crowded theater argument. Like, where do you draw the line? Because the line has to be drawn somewhere where somebody's causing harm.
Right.
But that's a rare instance. Like the vast majority of the time, it's better to just let people talk.
Yes, and that's the thing that a lot of people get caught up on. It's like they don't want to hear these things, but it's like if you suppress it, it doesn't go away. It just sort of comes out in different, more terrible ways. Like, you get President Trump, you know, like that is a classic example of how, you know, people were getting silenced, being told they're deplorable, being told they're fucking ignorant dipshits, and they're like, oh, well, okay, well then if we're so stupid, let's fucking burn it down. So it doesn't really do much, but yeah, I'm canceled. Okay, fucking there it is. Everybody's canceled except for Dusty. So there it is.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous though, like, because to me, if you don't like what somebody's saying, then just fucking don't listen to them. Like, unfollow them on Twitter or whatever. Like, I don't give a shit. So to me, like, like you were saying, because there's a difference between silencing somebody for saying things that you don't like versus calling them an asshole. One of those things is like inhibiting their right to free speech, and the other one is exercising your own right to free speech. Yeah. So it's just like, if it's really that big of a deal, yeah, you can spend all your time going, "Why, you fucking piece of shit." Sure, go ahead. But to me, it's like I just ignore all of it, and I feel like I'm just much better off with that, and feel like it's going pretty good. It's working out pretty well.
It's working out okay. We have a question from Cathosaurus. So regarding conspiracy theories, if one hears someone expressing a case that sounds like a conspiracy theory, or one holds an opinion that others treat as a conspiracy theory, how does one persuade people to bring e.g. critical thinking to bear, rather than just write off or be written off as a tinfoil hat wearing loon? Yeah, and that, go ahead, please. I'd rather you guys answer this.
I think a lot of it comes down to like tone and how you're approaching the way that you speak to somebody. Because there's a lot of instances where, you know, like everybody wants to call everything a fucking conspiracy theory these days, because it's so easy to write something off as a conspiracy theory. But I think the biggest thing is to like express yourself in a way that's not judgmental of someone else's thing, or not trying to say like, this is what's true. Like, how can you not believe it, you fucking sheep? Yeah. And more about like, hey, this is something interesting that I've been looking at. Like, what do you think of this? Like presenting it as a topic to be discussed rather than an opinion that you're challenging or asking to be challenged.
It goes back exactly to what you guys were talking about in the beginning, where it's like there's such a big difference between like just trying to stuff your opinion down someone else's throat versus like approaching it as like, hey, I have certain ideas and opinions and knowledge, and so do you. And oh, we actually disagree on this thing. Maybe we can work together to bring ourselves closer to the truth. And like, we're probably still going to be wrong because we're humans and like we're fucking stupid. Like we're monkeys, right? So to me, like it's super important to start from from the understanding that like we don't know shit, and then it's a lot more fun, I think, and like not to approach it from look how right I am. Approach it from, oh, here's like you said, Nate, like, oh, here's an interesting idea that I've been kind of thinking about. What do you think about this? And try to kind of keep it on that tone. But it's super difficult because I think a lot of people, as soon as they hear something that is against their like ideological belief system, they'll just like get triggered and then start yelling at you because you're a conspiracy theorist or whatever. But I think that's your best shot to like you said, it's really a lot about the tone and I think as well the intention. So it's like, let's see if we can learn something.
Yeah, that's where I come from, is that school of thought of like, oh, let's just hear them out. It really is super difficult for far too many folks. It is, but I think that a lot of that is because we are sort of pushed and pulled in these different directions, whereas like radical thinkers are getting these platforms now, and which you need radical thoughts to get shit done. But I think that things are sort of overcorrecting. And we've also found, like the media has sort of also found like a very profitable way to bring their status back up. And because, when you look at the mainstream media, you look at the New York Times and CNN, and where CNN's highest rated show is like 66,000 people or something, like what? Like people, alternate media is getting better numbers than CNN. So it's, they're obviously dying, and so it just seems like a lot of what's happening is sort of being perpetuated by the media, because if it bleeds, it reads, clickbaity, Trump did this, Trump did that. And they, these companies, these news organizations made so much money off of the last 4 years of Trump, so like, I do see it as sort of, and I'm not saying this is the whole thing, but the whole model has turned into this sort of like us versus them, Monday Night Football, explosions, and fucking like coming at you live from New York City.
The graphics alone.
The graphics and fucking, it's like, this is why the Republicans are a bunch of twats, and it's just people talking loudly and picking and choosing facts and stats and shit to push their narrative. And along with that, just everyone is sort of being pushed and pulled with them down this fucked up path that they're taking, that like, we're just going to push we're going to push the loudest and fucking most eye-grabbing stories we can to stay alive. And I think that had a lot to do with where we're at right now. Is we're being baited by our media. But also, when you look at them as a longer arm of the government, and they're working with the technocratic Silicon Valley, so like there's this little cabal going on. Moving Dutchman, just in time. We're talking about your favorite thing. You missed the aliens, Moving Dutchman. You missed them.
Missed the aliens.
You missed the aliens. Where were you? But no,
we're trying to keep it to a medium spicy.
Yeah, medium spice today. Medium spice. But I really do think that the media is sort of being put. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Well, like you said, it's a profit motive kind of thing.
It is. It's not all profit motive, but it is a huge part of what is dividing us, and that person's a conspiracy theorist. That person said that the lab leak was a conspiracy. Let's cancel them. Oh, wait, a year later, wow, that's a really plausible thing that might have happened. And so the problem is with conspiracies is they could be true, right? They can definitely be true. So it is hard, and it is hard to deal with, people who are just spouting off any kind of conspiracy that fits their little fucking narrative too. So it is dangerous. It is dangerous to sort of let this shit go. But I definitely think that this division is not because people are thinking of conspiracies and shit. I think this division is mostly being pushed by powers that be, because when you are fighting amongst yourself, you get told you just follow in line. Like, they can do whatever they want. They can pass any kind of measures because we're too busy in the streets fucking burning shit down and hating our neighbor. And meanwhile, they're passing all this policy that's sort of eroding away our rights to, function as free people. So I think it's a really dangerous time right now. And I do, I don't know if like silencing people is the right move, or if it is, because the thing is that it does work, right? Silencing people does work. If you don't like what someone's saying, taking them off the internet does fucking work. It's very effective. But I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is on that one, man. I don't know. I've been rambling, and now Movie Dutchman's gone. He's like, fuck this. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm not doing anything to Movie Dutchman, okay?
Well, I think it really, like, it's honestly very similar to what we were talking about before with like the statistics and studies thing, where nowadays it used to be where you had a handful. I mean, at one point it was a fucking printing press. Like, your local newspaper that came out of a press was your source for the news. That was the only thing you could get for the news. Then it was a radio, so you had a little bit more reach, and then it was TV. But even then, there was still there was a handful of shows, the classic like Walter Cronkite kind of thing, where people trusted the news. And it was like, all right, well, we can trust this person, we can trust this institution to define what reality is, and then I can make a belief on it. Nowadays, there's so many media sources that you can really define your own reality, and depending on which media source you want to go to. And you can find, whether it's on TV or whether it's on the internet or whatever it is, you can find a full, a very like well-produced, written production of the news that you want to hear, that you want to believe. Yeah. And so people are having I think one of the biggest problems is that people can't agree on a base reality premise, and so they can't debate each other, because the worlds that they see themselves existing in are entirely different.
Dang,
and that's because of the media, the different media sources.
And that's the media's fault again. But yeah,
well, in all media, it's that right. I don't want to, it's not just CNN's fault.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, I would go as far as to blame Fox News and who's the fat fuck who just died?
Roger Ailes.
Oh, that fat fuck too. But Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh is one of the
asshole.
Yeah, one of the OGs on this, and they are the ones that sort of popularized this sort of method of selling an idea. But Roger Ailes, Fox News, fucking, and Rush Limbaugh. I read Matt Taibbi's book, and I just thought it was so good. I forgot what he called it. It's his latest book. I forgot what it's called. I suck. But yeah, I mean, it was such a fascinating read, how he sort of breaks down where this idea of how the media, and it's not like this is new. Like, the media has always, sort of used these sort of these fear tactics to sort of push a narrative, but it's so prevalent now, and it's so we all have the news right fucking here at all times. And it's just like right now there's a thing that popped up on my feed and I'm trying to read it, but no, don't read it. And so it's everywhere, and it's in everything we do. And it's more than just a a TV show that the family watches at night now. You know, there's no more real gatekeepers. Anybody can put out news. Anybody can make a website that looks like a legit news source and just put it out there. So it's getting to that point where we just don't know what's even real anymore. And it's hard to sort of, you know, find some basis in reality because, like you're saying, is like everyone's just sort of arguing their own, how they see themselves in their own reality and the stuff that they consume. So we're no longer, you know, we're no longer dealing with just like these simple sources of information. It's just like it's everywhere and it's everything. It's ubiquitous and it's oh God. I mean, how do you get past this massive distrust in information, and how do you get back on track? You know, like how does that even happen? Aliens. That's how it happens.
That's a really good question, man. I think the first thing is like we have to be super intentional about where we are getting information from. So like just being really critical about, so like what are my inputs, where am I getting my information from? And you know, to go back to what you were talking about, you know, I think one of the things that's so infuriating about this thing with like fear being the main thing if we look at the like the old school news, like it's all fear based now from what I've seen. It doesn't matter which side you're on, it's just like it's all fear. And I realized like why that's happening. So everybody's fucking competing for our attention, right? Like that's the thing. Everybody, because that's what's being sold. There's advertisements being sold on all, doesn't matter what platform you're getting your information from, it's ads, right? So it's all about attention. And I realized like fear, the reason why that has become like the dominant mode is because fear is like it overrides everything else that is happening in the brain. Like the fucking amygdala is like you go straight down into the brain stem, into the fucking reptilian brain. And when that shit gets activated, it doesn't matter what your logical neocortical structures are trying to do. It gets completely overrun by this fear thing. And that's what like gets us stuck on these fear loops. So I think, yeah, as I said, like it's super, super important to be aware of where we're getting our information and to try to skew that in a way where like the inputs that we're receiving are like somehow benefiting our view of reality. Because who knows what the fuck is true, but I would rather believe like, because either way, it's all fucking misinformation. So much of this is misinformation. So like, I would rather believe something that's not true, but makes me feel good and safe and loving and happy than like some other fake bullshit that just makes me scared of everyone and everything, you know?
Right. Absolutely. International Space Bacon, thank you so much for that sub. I appreciate it, my friend. Welcome in. Yeah, what were you going to say, Nate?
Well, I was going to say something that leads into is that Cartagena or is that Cartagena?
It's Cartagena, but I say Cartagena. Welcome.
Cartagena.
Cartagena, how the hell are you?
They asked if we've ever believed something that we later found out is wrong, and the answer for me is definitely yes.
Yeah, lots.
And sure. I was going to lead into that with saying, like, I think one of the biggest things, one of the most important aspects as an individual, whenever you're talking about this, like this issue we've been talking about, is you have to have an open mind about your own opinions. And Malcolm Gladwell actually has this great take on like principles and how like sticking to your principles is actually not necessarily a good thing. And oftentimes like people will take their principles and allow themselves to be like super rigid in their opinions and then think it's a good thing or like it's something to be like morally proud of because they're sticking to their guns when their principles were flawed to begin with.
Right.
And so I think it's really important to be and it's kind of an ego thing, you know. It's like you can't take your own beliefs so seriously that you're not willing to change them if you are presented information that challenges them. And like I said, I actually grew up in like a really strict traditional Christian conservative family.
Wow.
And
those are always
I
fun.
have changed many opinions from coming in from that upbringing. And you know, and at the same time, like I still love my family and I still have a great relationship with my family. And you know, they don't know everything about me, you know. They don't know about me going in the woods and taking acid or anything like that. But
Well, now they do.
they're not gonna watch this.
No, they're
And
not.
if they have, they've watched my podcast plenty of times. But
So they know.
if they actually haven't watched my podcast, that's what I meant. They haven't watched. They've had plenty of chances to listen to the podcast.
You're lucky. My
and-
mom knows how to use YouTube now, and she's like, "I'm watching
Oh my
everything."
God.
I'm like, oh God damn it.
My grandmother asked me how to listen to the podcast, and I was like, "Thank God this woman can't use her phone because I would have a lot of things to answer for." But
especially after erotic enunciations, right?
Ooh,
yeah, we talked about sex in that episode. Let's hope the parents don't get
I
into
thought you
that
were a
one.
virgin, Nate.
Guess they're like nobody watches WSEG. Yeah, exactly. Because like we're not worried about it. Nobody watches this shit. Yeah.
Oh man.
No, but I agree with you, Kat. Too is like we do need to be able to bring critical thinking to bear on what we believe and why we believe it. That leads back to why I was interested in the philosophical nature of your previous guest. That is what academic philosophers are trained to do. Yeah, they are just trained to sit there and just mouth karate and just in at least one alternate reality. I am tripping shrooms in the woods right now instead of watching Twitch at work. I'm with that. I'm totally with that. Not that they then necessarily use that discipline on themselves. Yeah, because they'll just believe whatever the fuck they want to believe too, with their own little confirmation bias within their own departments. You know, so it's like, you really do have to sort of. Ignorance is bliss, especially for your parents. Yeah, I agree with that shit.
There's one word that Hank and I love to use. It's called autodidacticism.
Please explain.
And what autodidacticism means is self-guided learning. And it's an attitude of curiosity and pursuit of learning on your own, not being having to be forced. And there's like, it's not, oh yeah, you only learn from things yourself. Like you can have teachers and people that you respect, but it's like, it's taking your opinions and your beliefs into your own hands and putting forth effort to learn and to educate yourself. Right. And it's a lifelong pursuit type of thing.
Yeah. I wish that public school systems in this country did more stuff like that, taught more stuff like autodidacticism. We speak English good. I wish that they would do that to teach kids how to think critically and how to disseminate information and how to file your fucking taxes and how to start a small business and like try to really teach children how to be as independent as possible. And not try to train them for to be factory workers in this, like when we're shipping all our factory jobs overseas or it's all becoming automated. Like the future is not the factory, right? The future is not that at all. So why are we still teaching our kids to come and listen to a bell, sit down, stare forward, listen, shut the fuck up, don't have any opinions, don't fucking say anything, and sit there and we're going to ram this information down your throat. Some of it's useful, some of it you'll never fucking use for the rest of your life. And then when you're done, go be a good worker for a job that doesn't exist. And
Dude,
preach it.
Thank you for that rant, because if you didn't do it, I was going to have to. So I just appreciate that you did it instead.
Somebody's got to say it, goddammit. No, all right. It is prepping kids for the WSEG. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not, it's unfortunate, but it's not, well, maybe it is now that people are getting it, but like people be an economic production unit and otherwise shut the fuck up. Yeah. It's like they teach you not to question anything. They teach you just to take it at face value. There's no teaching of critical thinking. And so by the time kids are like going off to college and going to absorb that, echo chamber that they're going into, they're already set up to just listen and go for it. Like, okay, I'm ready to do your bidding. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to follow. I'm ready to listen for the bell so I know when to do something next. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to hear the bell so I can signal that I'm not that, or I am this, or whatever it is. It's setting people up to be these little worker ants, and not setting people up to be autonomous and to think for themselves. And so now people, and plus all the participation trophies, add that in, and now you got a bunch of people who are like, it's really hard for them to handle some real hard truths. And that's dangerous, because fuck, dude, there are some hard truths that humanity needs to understand. It doesn't mean that we can't work towards changing those truths, but it's not going to work by just burning down buildings and yelling at people and fucking calling people Nazis that are just fucking calling black people white supremacists is not gonna change the things that you want to see change. So it's like we've infantilized our society by just training them for jobs that don't really exist, but to just be like to just be a ready worker in any situation, however it comes. It's like, fall in line. This is what we teach our kids from the beginnings. Fall in fucking line. And people go off to college and they're expanding their mind and shit, but it's just another version of fall in line. Or else you're canceled, so moving Dutchman.
And it's a tough one, because I really do believe in public education.
Yeah, me too.
And I think it's like a really important thing that we should invest in society. But we're using our public education as if we're a society from the early 1900s.
Yes.
And we are not educating kids in the way that will turn them into successful modern adults that are happy and, productive, and productive meaning productive in the things that they want to pursue in their lives. And, instead we're, like you said, we're kind of working on factory worker type shit. And it's not like other countries aren't catching on to this. There's a lot of other countries that are doing a lot better education than America is. And I remember, Hank, you probably remember this too. Sedona High School had a lot of exchange students, and they used to make fun of us because their education was way higher. They were like a grade or two ahead of us in their classes. I remember a girl who was a class below me in a math class I was in being like, we learned this in 8th grade. What are you guys doing still learning this in your sophomore and junior year? Are you kidding me? And it's just American education. And I think the higher education system has just been, it's just an embarrassment. And there's so much more that we could be doing in that particular area that is not, it doesn't take a $1 trillion to do. It doesn't take some complete overhaul of education. There's some major tweaks or some minor tweaks that could make major differences. One of the biggest ones being standardized testing. We should just get rid of standardized testing.
Right. Yeah, another one too that's actually pretty interesting. in my understanding, like, so, we have summer break, which when I was going to school, it was like almost 3 months.
Yeah.
And
2.5 to 3.
That, like, exactly as you pointed out, Nate, like, this is some shit from like the 1900s. Like that, they literally did that so that the kids could fucking go home and harvest during the summertime. And the fucked up thing is, like, because it's so long, every single year we spend the first like month or two of school trying to fucking remember everybody what they done learned last year. So if you think about it, if you compound that over the entire lifetime of a student, like, you're literally wasting years of school by just talking about the same shit that they already learned, and like, oh yeah, wait, what was that again? And like, so one of the things that would be super easy to do is to just do more short breaks.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't give kids a break.
Right.
Like, it doesn't mean you have to increase the amount of time they're in school. You just spread the breaks out, which I think would be better for kids in that way too.
Yeah, I do too. That 3 months is so crucial. It's crazy. I remember going back to school and just being completely stupid. I mean, my parents worked all the time and fucking
forgot how to read.
Yeah, for real. I would just go back. I forgot how to do my multiplication. And, that's something that me and my wife recognized really early with our son. And so, even when he was going to school physically in the summers, he's like right now, like every day he has school for 4 hours, which is rude. But compounded with his use of electronics and stuff, like, we just want to make sure his days are spread out and it's not just him on his phone fucking just doing whatever he wants. But like the amazing feats he has reached in this summer where we just kept the education going. It's insane. Like he's read like 5 books and he's 7.
Hell
and
yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Nice.
Like I never.
Well, you all are good parents.
I didn't
proud
read.
of,
I didn't
of you
read
and
5 books. I didn't read 5 books until I was in college. I half-assed read books in school and in high school, and I would read books if I was interested into it. But then I was like, "This is stupid. I'm playing guitar, bitch." So I didn't do any of that. And so the fact that he's got this head start, and I'm just trying to brag about how fucking good of a father I am.
Hey,
I am
Baby
pretty good.
Yoda, he's a lucky little chicken nugget,
He's a lucky nugget. You hear that, Baby Yoda? Don't be fucking with Daddy.
He's got some good parents.
Speaking of Baby Yoda, you are being summoned. Baby Yoda.
Here it comes.
Baby Yoda. Hey, Dusty, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? How's heaven? I hope they're treating you well up there. Baby Yoda. God, why is my screen all fucked up? Baby Yoda. Where are you? We'll come back to critical thinking. Wait, we're still here doing this. Well, while Baby Yoda gets his shit together, we can continue on going. By the time I was 20, I was pretty ready for autonomous learning. Yeah, it took me a while for me to get on that level to even want to. Were you guys good students coming up? Were you guys good at school? Are you guys more learned now than you were then?
I was actually a pretty good student. I fucking hated school, and I thought it was the most boring, worthless shit ever, but I still did the work because actually this is actually funny. I did the work because my mom was like, dude, if you get straight A's, you can do whatever you want. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And then I did.
And you did. And you fucking.
And then
I'm glad you got straight A's because we had a lot of parties at your house.
We did.
All right, Baby Yoda. I think
shenanigans.
I think Baby Yoda's here. Baby Yoda, are you here? Are you here, Baby?
Yeah.
Yoda? Oh, baby. Oh, there he is. There he is.
The Force is with us.
I haven't been quick. I didn't clean out my engine, so it's a little rusty.
Oh shit.
So
damn it.
That's
I'll
okay.
clean that out sometime.
Yeah, you gotta keep your engine clean. You gotta keep your motor
Yeah.
clean, as
Very
ACDC
important.
once said. So Baby Yoda, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been watching. I have been playing some spacecraft.
Ooh, if you guys don't know what spacecraft, that is Minecraft, but in space. There you go.
I'm a big fan.
What?
Big fan, yes. Spacecraft.
Spacecraft.
Yes.
Unreal.
So that's great. I'm glad that you've been hanging out playing spacecraft. Baby Yoda, do you have a question for our guests today, Hank and Nate?
Yes.
Good.
Good.
What is your favorite color?
Hank, we'll start with you. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Boom, green. You should like that, baby.
Bam.
Yep, I really do. Just one little problem. I'm light green.
You're light green. Oh.
Oh.
You messed up. My
are-
favorite color is purple.
Oh, purple.
Dioxazine purple.
Dioxazine purple specifically.
Dioxazine purple is Nate's favorite color. What's your favorite color, Baby Yoda?
My favorite color is light green.
I see. I see.
That's convenient.
Yeah, really. Baby Yoda, do you have another question for our guest today?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
What's your favorite thing to watch on TV?
Ooh.
My favorite thing to watch on TV. It's We Speak English Good TV. Of course.
Oh, there it is. Flattery.
What else would it be?
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I don't watch a lot of TV.
So have you ever had a favorite television show, Nate?
You know, one that is a classic that I've watched through twice that I really love and is just like lighthearted, fun, easy to watch, don't have to pay a ton of attention to, but will make you feel a little bit tear up now and then, is Futurama.
Oh yeah, Futurama. You like Futurama, don't you, Baby Yoda?
Yes.
Yeah, Baby Yoda likes Futurama and The Simpsons. How about you, Hank? Do you have a favorite show, or did you have a favorite show?
I guess. Well, yeah. Recently, I've been watching Twin Peaks,
The
which
new one?
is just I went through the whole thing again.
Wait, the
all
old one
3
or the new one?
seasons. Both.
Both. Wow, look at you. That almost-
And I just love Twin Peaks, especially the first 2 seasons. Third season's D's, but the first 2 are just—it's so good. I love that. Great show, Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. What's the director's name?
David Lynch.
I always want to say Burn, but that's not. That's Tom.
I assumed that was a show about a titty bar because there was one in Tucson called Twin Peaks. I never went to it, but
Have you guys ever
it
been?
was there.
Have you guys ever been to the Twin Peaks in San Francisco?
I have not.
No.
No. Yeah, you have.
I've only been to San Francisco once, and I was far too young
Yeah.
for
Oh,
a Twin Peaks.
You know what? Baby Yoda was probably a little too young too, or maybe he didn't go. I can't remember. Never mind. Baby Yoda, whatever. Hank, Nate, do you have a question for Baby Yoda?
Yes.
Yes. You first.
You go first.
I said it first. I got you.
Baby Yoda, what is the meaning of life?
What is the meaning of life, Baby Yoda?
The meaning of life
Yes.
is to become the pro spacecrafter.
Oh, so the meaning of life is to be a pro spacecrafter. And if we think about that in Minecrafting terms, I think what Baby Yoda is trying to say is be the master of your own domain. Wow, wise words.
Ah,
No.
wow, beautiful.
Wise.
Literally, it's to be the pro at spacecraft.
No, it's not. It's to be a master of your own domain.
No, it's
Baby
very
Yoda,
about
how can
the
I become-
spacecraft.
All right, fine.
How can I become the greatest of all spacecrafters?
Okay, how can Nate become the greatest of all spacecrafters?
Well, first you have to move. First, you would have to move to outer space. Well, you would have to move to outer space.
Okay.
And
Then you would have to get an outer space phone. Then you would have to go to the app store. And
Get my
it's
get my
$50
notepad out.
for spacecraft. They have to pay.
oh, they're writing that down. They're writing that down. Can
Write
I
that down.
attach Yellow Pod?
Yeah, let me get that.
Yeah, for sure. Space
I'm
Bacon.
gonna give my boy Elon a call.
Baby Yoda, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. Even though, I'll try not to spin Baby Yoda's wisdom anymore, and I'll let him speak on face value. I won't try to censor Baby Yoda. I'm not trying to cancel Baby Yoda. We love you, Baby Yoda.
This
Baby
is a free
Yoda's spinning
force
bars.
zone.
It's a free force zone. Baby Yoda, thank you so much for dropping in. Enjoy the rest of your day playing spacecraft.
Okay.
Peace.
And also watching spacecraft.
All right.
Thanks, Baby Yoda.
Thank you, Baby Yoda. Everybody give a round of
Wow.
applause. There he is. Thank you for that woo.
The kid's going places.
I agree. Oops. And here's your woo, International Space Bacon. If I can get it to work. Never mind. I guess I'm not working.
Kitty.
There it is. I got to do it manually because I turned off the things. But okay, I'll put it on claps too. There you guys go. Parenting done right. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
I know I missed a lot during our Baby Yoda interview. Google
Dioxazine purple.
Yeah, I want to. They want me to Google it, so I am going to Google
It's
it.
pretty. It's a really pretty color. I do some painting, so that's a color I like to use a lot.
Oh, you're a visual artist.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think of myself as one, but it's being
Yeah.
generous.
Well, if you say you're one, you are one. That
That's
is a
right.
nice purple.
It's actually fairly similar to what you got going on in your background there in the darker part of the waves.
You know what? I love that color, and this is sort of going along with that. So I mean, I think I have kind of a boner for that. This is actually the cover for the next single, Hamburger 2099. Welcome to fucking Whack Arnold's. Yeah, so we got this little hologram burger here, but I put it all in this color. So yeah, I feel that. I like that color too. I like that Jay-Z patent the color blue, but anyways.
If I remember right, I think the weird name is actually based on the chemical from the snails that they used to crush up from the
for the actual color.
royal purple color.
Oh, so they would smash up snails to get. I mean, they do that with bugs too, right? They do that with Hank Sutton.
Yeah, they did it with a lot of things.
Who's Hank
Purple
Sutton?
was considered like
Oh, that's me.
But I thought it was Svensson.
Yeah, I did. I put Sutton there because then people wouldn't call me Hank Sylvester.
Mighty, thank you for that sub, and thank you for those 200 biddies. And thank you guys for
thanks for the sub, dude.
International Bacon,
Or
if you want to link a podcast, go ahead, man. And I'll link their podcast too. I got it on Spotify, you guys, which you can still listen to even if you don't have a Spotify account. But it's just
we're on everything too.
But they're on everything. You can just Google Casual Cognition and boom and blop and Mighty, you're on a roll. You better calm down, Mighty. You better calm down. 3D Code Warrior. I'm coming for you, 3D Chord. Okay, we're moving on. I do want to read some of these things because I know I missed some stuff while we were doing the Baby Yoda interview. So maybe we can circle back in the chat and get ready to sort of start wrapping up here in a little bit. But hold on, let's go back to our guest. Let's see what the chat was saying. Be a pro. I hear wisdom. Okay, I'm twisting words around. I saw you guys started talking about something. I think I think prior to dual income households, parents were expected to teach more. Like, I certainly am down as a poor kid to not do taxes in high school in that setting. My tax reality in high school was embarrassingly different than most. I feel you behind that suit, and I think more or less I was, and tax law updates each year, so kind of would be useless as one of the go-to things they should have taught me. Well, behind that suit, there is something though, like they could just teach you how to file your taxes in general. I mean, like filing general tax. If you work at McDonald's and you make more than $5,000 a year in this country, fucking you have to file your taxes. And so just as a kid, knowing how to do that general thing, I think is very important. I think a big problem is that parents are sort of relying on schools to be babysitters, to be the moral compasses, to teach their kids, and they're just sort of zoning out, and they're on their phones, or they got life and they got bills and they got mistresses and all this shit to deal with, and it's just easier to send your fucking kids off and go. So I don't know. Let me see. Then pay an accountant to go to TurboTax. Shut the fuck up. But behind that was one of the things, right? Wouldn't it have been nice though for them to at least teach you how to like start a small business, or to like instill these ideas of think for yourself and fucking really think about these things and not just take information at face value. So, they did.
This is one thing that is important about the public education system
Well, there
that
you
people
go.
don't like to
Canada,
talk to about a lot.
fucking Canada does it. We had to make
Yeah.
fake business. Well, there you go. Canada has it right. I bet your education system is better than ours. So
I'm sure.
every
But-
drop of important education I got as a kid was from my mom and grandparents, not any school. Yeah, and I agree with that. And like that's the thing that I was trying to make a point on, is that parents are sort of relying on schools to teach them all these things, and depending on where you live, what neighborhood you're in, your level of education is going to vary from where you are located and proximity. So parents really do need to sort of step up and fill in these blanks. And I get it. As a parent who had a kid in a public school system, I thought it was amazing. I was like, send his ass off every day. But when the world shut down, I realized how far behind he was. Like, he couldn't read. He wasn't sounding out word. They don't teach kids to sound shit out anymore. I don't even know what they do anymore. And they put together cluster word or cluster letters, and that you have to like remember like clusters instead of like A makes this sound and B makes that sound. He didn't even know. I learned cursive. Yes,
I did learn cursive.
Same.
I learned cursive. Yes.
Because we were gonna have to fucking write letters, so you better fucking learn cursive. Like,
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I got a
emails.
C in cursive.
A C in
Fucking assholes.
cursive, dude. I got a C
Sons
in
of
art.
bitches.
It's fine. I got a C in art. You're like, huh? Fuck you.
But no, I actually think that that is one aspect of education that people don't want to talk about a lot, is the fact that one of the major benefits to public education is that it is essentially publicly funded daycare for a lot of people. And for some people, that's not necessarily because like they're bad parents and they're not willing to teach the kid, but they're poor people. They don't have time. They got to work 2 jobs. Maybe they're a single parent or something like that. And that actually is another thing, like what you were saying, Hank, where like summer is like super disruptive to people who are in that situation, where suddenly they have to figure out how to have their kid taken care of for like a few months, where they're not going to be able to work as much. And that's there's certain parts about that obviously is bad, where if somebody is relying on a public educator to teach certain things that they as a parent should be teaching their kids. But I think that it's a positive aspect where, we have institutions that can help people's ability to like work and not necessarily have to have like a full-time stay-at-home parent. But I mean, there's also a lot to be said about, the breakup of like the family, where there for a long time, for most of our history, there was either grandparents or aunts and uncles. Like there's people staying at the same location or very nearby that you could rely on to help take care of a child while you're working. It's takes a village to raise a child thing. Like we've gone so far away from that, and now we're like culturally fixated on the nuclear family of the two parents, the children, and maybe a grandparent if they're in dire straits or something like that, but primarily just the parents and the kids in one household.
Yeah, yeah, and like it is weird, because I am a very liberal-minded person, and when you think about when this breakup of the home started happening was sort of the rise of feminism. Now everybody calm down. I'm all about it. I'm all about everybody fucking flourishing.
Just go ahead and cancel yourself now.
Might as well, dude.
Might as well just
but
start it off.
But and I'm not trying to say anything bad about feminism. What I'm saying is that you had this rise in feminism, and then in the 1960s and 70s you saw more women sort of stepping out and becoming more self-sufficient, and which I think is great. But the sort of unintended consequence, in part, I don't want to say this is the entire consequence, but but in part, the unintended consequence was right. But in the 60s and 70s, it really started rising up. But makes sense. The nuclear family doesn't make sense with dual income households. I don't know.
Well, the rise of women in the workplace actually started in the 40s with World War II.
Right. But in the 1960s and 70s is when we started
there was a
seeing
movement to go along with the civil rights movement.
That's sort of second wave. Thank you. How dare women? Yeah, no, I'm not trying to say that, Kat. Okay, I'm just saying that there was sort of this unintended consequences that sort of led to the breaking up of the family, right? And then when you hear people talking now, reflecting on what's happening in their own culture or race, you hear people saying is like, we have all these single mothers who are out there raising these kids without a father in the home. I'm not saying this, folks. I'm just repeating what, these other scholarly folk do, that the breakdown of the nuclear family is what sort of is leading to this rise in kids sort of coming up with no father, and the rise of crime. And when you look at the statistics, you see that kids that come from a two-parent household tend to do better financially, in career wise and such. So, I'm all about feminism. I'm all about women. I don't think any woman should stay in a fucking situation, or a man, or non-binary folk. I don't think anybody should stay in a situation that's making them miserable. And I would argue to say that it's more damaging to a child to be in a situation where the parents are screaming and fighting and can never find a way to agree. And the kid has to sit there and absorb that shit. So I say that there's a huge argument for that as well. I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm just saying that this is what, this is what's sort of out there in the zeitgeist, and I don't necessarily believe it, but there is this evidence that sort of points to it. I don't know, how does that fall on you guys? I know the chat is lighting up.
Well, one of the big things you got to think about when people talk about this is that there's a lot going on the period between the 1920s and the 1970s. And one of the things that happened during that period is, I'd say this is probably more like the late 1800s, but it really kicked up during the mass industrialization that happened in the early 1900s. The nuclear family was really allowed to exist through a sort of like artificial boom that we had. I mean, artificial is probably the wrong term for it, but America, and I'm talking specifically in America at this point, America had all these resources, specifically oil, steel, and just general like agricultural exports, but it caused the economy to have so much strength and so much like resource power behind it that it allowed one person to have an income that was so high that you could be a factory worker and easily pay for you, your spouse, 3-4 kids, a big house, couple of cars, and invest and still like have like an upper middle class lifestyle and yet still have like a lower, what we would now consider to be a lower class job that didn't require a ton of education, that didn't require a ton of like qualifications behind it. So like whenever we talk about like, oh, the breakup of the nuclear family was what caused these issues, I think that the nuclear family was destined to be a failed thing, because there's just it's nowadays it's really almost impossible for somebody who's just going into the workforce as a middle class worker to have one income and take care of yourself and 3 other people, as well as having like a decent amount of buying power and economic mobility. So like, I don't necessarily think that it had to do with feminism as much as it had to do with like the artificial nature of the institution itself, of the nuclear family, with like a single income being the provider. What about you, Hank?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I guess the main thing that I want to point out is how I just think it's really strange that there's this thing, particularly in the US, but kind of in the West in general, about how, but yeah, especially in the US, like we talked about this a little bit on the podcast before, but like how being like a self-made man is like such a high thing to like do it. I did it all myself, and I didn't fucking get any help from anybody ever. And like, this is the same thing with this family thing, like about how you're gonna be this like tiny little contained unit. And like, to me, I think it's just moving in the wrong direction. Like, we're interdependent with all of the other fucking species on the planet, with all of the other human beings. Like, we need each other. And I think it's kind of like, I don't know, to me it's just strange to like, because like, to me, I've been seeing this trend where it's moving more and more towards just like isolation. And I want to go back to, of course, not everything going back, but like in some sense, to me, the idea of like, if we look back at our tribal ancestors, like that is,
yeah, I want to go back to 12,000 BC.
Yeah, it's so much more beautiful when you have a community of people bringing up the children, and you have like you have the elders who are largely responsible actually for bringing up the kids, and then the parents are doing more of the hunting and gathering kind of stuff, but of course taking care of the children as well. And like, moving back.
Nope. Did we lose him?
Yeah, we lost though. Yeah, well, what Hank's trying to say is he wants to make America great again. That's basically what Hank is saying right now.
We want to make humanity great again by returning to monkey.
We want to go back to our roots.
Yeah, we want to go back to our roots. I'm sure he'll reconnect here in a second. But yeah, we do talk about this a lot, about how like we've moved so far away from how human beings are naturally, I mean, I'll use the word designed, but you know, you don't have to ascribe to any sort of religious belief, but how we evolved, how we're like our sort of.
It's all right. I got you. Keep going.
The way that we
don't worry, I got you, Nick. Keep going.
That we naturally live in an environment as, you know, as humans, that we did. There he is.
Hey.
We did for thousands of years, and you know, hundreds of thousands of years, really. They backed up the earliest human remains that we found are around 300,000 years old, and agriculture started around 12,000 years ago. So for 290,000 years we were hunter gatherers, and we were in small communities, tight knit communities, where you were completely dependent on the other human beings around you. There wasn't any sort of like laws or anything like that, because if somebody stepped out of line, they were going to die. I mean, you couldn't, like, people could act out, but they would be punished in a reasonable way by the tribe. And the tribe doesn't want to hurt them because they're an important part of the tribe too. So it was just like our natural inclinations are social, are cooperative, collaborative, communal. And, it's the real trick is trying to figure out how to make a system work that is generally 100 people, and how to make it work with 100 million people.
Yeah.
And that's the real hard part, and that's what we haven't figured out how to do yet.
Right. Yeah, it is weird, and like I do kind of want to circle back and just reiterate that I'm not with that whole feminist idea that it ruined the nuclear family, because I did see in the chat where there was a lot of people sort of chiming in. It's like, well, especially here in America, we shipped a lot of our fucking manufacturing overseas. That creates stress within a family. When you lose your job, that can break up a family real easy. I mean, anybody who's been married and in any kind of financial trouble knows that it's a fucking stressful situation. So the rise of crime, the 94 crime bill, that fucking sweeping bill that fucking arrested all these people, and war on drugs, you know what I mean? The whole fucking racist
the wars, the actual wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vietnam.
At khakis, I guess. We're going khakis. We just bought a house for $10,000, but it still needs a lot of work. I am
way to
happy
go.
Yeah, congratulations. In Finland. Well, owner died, so basically government auctioned it. Nice. But yeah, even here is super cheap. So wait, Finland is cheap? Oh, how dare you, Kat? How dare you do that to me?
I don't know. You tell us, Hank. You're closer.
Are you in Finland or are you in Sweden?
Denmark.
Denmark. Okay. What are you doing there, Hank?
Yeah, I'm actually, I just moved to Copenhagen recently. Wow. And I'm living with my girlfriend and doing all kinds of different fun stuff.
Sweet.
Got the podcast, working on releasing some music. Probably
you stream too, right?
Spring.
Just started.
Yeah, I just started streaming a couple of weeks ago, actually.
Hank Sutton. There you go, guys.
And that's been super, super fun.
Go follow Hank.
Let's
go see what he's doing over there too. Let's go fucking be nosy.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, we need to get affiliate going.
Appreciate that. It's been super cool.
Look at him. He looks so confused. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, the first couple streams were basically that. Like,
yeah, we had to figure out tech.
What the fuck is happening?
Extremely kind of you.
Extremely kind. Let's see what's
Hank is a really, really great musician and songwriter and singer.
No, there it is. I just followed everybody. Ooh, let's hear him sing.
Oh, nice.
What? Well, you gonna sing,
That's
Hank?
a good way to go.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's hear him sing.
Oh shit!
Come on, Hank.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Straightport.
Hey, we can have him do this live. You got your guitar around?
You got your guitar? You want to do a performance? That would be great. Look, if you whip yours out, I'll whip mine out. Okay. I'll even do it with this hat on. No.
Oh, really?
If I could route my keyboard over there, I would.
Woo!
That's something I can't wait for, the time when the latency is low enough to where you could actually play like through a call or something. That would be
you just got to get the vaccine, and that hooks up your 5G.
There you go.
Then your latency problems will go away.
You become the antenna. That's the whole point. That's the whole point, Hank. Let's hear a little bit more about Hank, since he's having some stage fright over here. So.
You always want more. A stolen nickel in my pocket, and I'm gonna go far. And Now I'm robbing the graves in my own backyard.
Cancelled.
I am a thief and a liar of the very worst kind. Oh, I sell to the broken, then I rob them blind. Well, I will build you a house with my own two hands, and then burn it to the ground as quick as I can. As quick as I can. As quick as I can. Hey, Gretutu01, welcome to the stream.
Oh, that's what I love about streaming. Shit. You'll be in the middle. So,
Hey!
hey,
Like,
poo poo
whoa,
pants.
shit.
What's up, poo poo
Someone's
pants?
actually watching.
Yeah. Let's bring it back in. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful, Hank. I dig the music. I dig what you're doing. You got a nice voice there. I dig it. I dig it. Is that
Thanks, dude.
And Nate, you play music too. I didn't know you were a musician as well.
Yeah, I've been actually Hank's been teaching me some music theory stuff. He's actually really knowledgeable about music and music theory. So he's been teaching me. I've been singing for Hank and I actually started singing together. So what was it, 16 we started doing that?
Aw.
So
Well,
12, 13 years.
Are you gonna sing something for us now?
I can sing something.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid.
Yeah, Nate's not afraid. Hank, look, go ahead, sing something. Go
Ouch.
ahead, go
Let
ahead.
me think of
No time for thinking.
I'll sing him a little Falconer. That's one that I have off the top of my head that I don't need an actual music for. So it's
okay.
for the moon and the sun and for the winds I've sung. Hear how the lovely tones dance upon my tongue. I gazed upon her eyes for oh so many nights, astounded by the beauty of a dark and sparkling sky. I'm a lonely minstrel, a traveler on a road to nowhere. I sing a song to light up the day, so come along as I walk away. There you go.
That was nice. Thank you. I appreciated that. I appreciate stuff that makes me go, damn, rap is a different beast.
Rap is a different beast.
Yeah, that's some good vocal work. Yeah, I like that. So I mean,
There's
Nate,
no warm up.
no warm up, straight in. Were you
Going in raw.
Do you have you been in bands and stuff? We didn't even talk about music.
I have not. I'm looking into it. I would like to join a band, but that's one of the reasons why I've been trying to learn the keyboard. So I'm not just like, I have a lot of different vocal styles that I enjoy doing, but I feel like just run up to a band and being like, yeah, I've never like been in a band. I don't know any instruments, but I got a voice. So can I be your singer? Like, it's just like,
You should.
I
That's
feel
a lot.
almost rude.
But that's how a lot of people do it. Honestly,
It's true.
A lot of
It's
people
true.
just.
I'd
be
like to at least be
"Hey, I could
jam a
sing."
little bit on the piano. You know, have a little something to do with my hands.
I feel you. Look. There is this thing with instrumentalists that hold vocalists. There's some kind of weirdness towards vocalists in the instrumentalist world because they think it's like, oh, no, oh, you can sing. Wow. Well, I can do like 5 different things with 4 different limbs. Well, fuck you. You know, like there's this like thing that is like, oh, because you were born with it, it's not a real instrument.
Yeah.
And I think that mentality is sort of dying out with the older generation, you know?
Yeah.
Because these new kids who are YouTube learning and shit, they're very respectful unless they're little twats and they're all up their own asses. But I mean, these kids today are coming up fucking strong and just fucking
People are supportive these days.
Yes, supportive. Exactly what I was about to say. Yes, way more supportive. And, there's just more avenues for people to sort of get their music and their vibes out there. So I think that helps. But we're going to go ahead and do our little melodica solo for Cathosaurus since
There it is.
Cat, because Cat has requested one. And and then maybe we'll do a little bit of Hot Boy Summer and Raid.
I was about to say, y'all don't let him go without redeeming a Hot Boy Summer. I'll do it myself if I have to.
I'll do it myself, goddammit. All right. Since Kat is coming on the show in a week or a couple weeks, I am going to Kat hath requested. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do it right for you, Kat. Noise. There you go. There it is.
Love it.
There it is. There it is, folks. That's how we do things around here.
Yeah, Hank, I told you it was pretty good.
Oh, calm
Nice,
down.
dude.
Calm down. Calm down. Okay. Moving Dutchman, thank you so much for those claps. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put the alerts back on since we're waning down to the end. Nate, Hank, is there anything you want to add to this? Did we leave any subjects sort of I don't know if chat, I don't know. Did we sort of like move past something or I don't know if you guys want to wrap up anything, but this is your time to shine. Thank you, Kat.
I think we did pretty darn good.
I thought so.
Anybody in chat, you're welcome to ask us anything. But yeah,
Again,
I think we went over most of it.
casual conversation. Casual conversation. Thank you for that, Woo, Reina Mystique.
Thanks, Reina.
The name of the podcast is Casual Cognition. It's these two guys doing kind of what we did. Sometimes they have guests on. Sometimes it's just them two riffing off each other on a subject. Oh, favorite books. Bonnie, the little bookworm over here.
Yeah, we can go off on that one. Hank, you want to start?
God, I don't even know where to start.
All right,
The first,
I
the
will
first
start.
one that comes,
sorry, go on.
first one that comes to mind is Dune.
Dude, go ahead.
Dune.
Thank you,
Going
Mighty Mighty.
fiction.
That book is fucking awesome. If you're into sci-fi at all, that is like you have to read that fucking book.
Yeah, that's a great one. I gotta go with two of them. The War of Art
Oh, yeah,
by
absolutely.
Stephen Pressfield,
yeah.
Yeah.
which we did an episode on actually. But that's an incredible book. I actually have it right here.
Yeah, it's
And,
very good. It's very good.
It's not very long, as you can see, very very thin, but full of wisdom. If you're a creative person, and even if you're not, it will inspire you to get into it. The other one would be Civilized to Death by Chris Ryan.
Oh yeah,
which talks a lot about some of the stuff we were talking about around the problems that arose after we left a hunter-gatherer type of culture and moved into agriculturalization and eventually industrialization. And I just absolutely love that book. Same thing, very well written, not too long, full of great information. They're both a real joy to read, and both also audiobooks too.
I see. Oh, okay. So Haderach is the writer of Dune. Okay, thank you, Kat. I was like, who's that? Is that Kat's favorite writer? But
Kwisatz Haderach is something from.
The writer of Dune is Frank Herbert. The Kwisatz
Oh, is he
or whatever? However you
Kwisatz
pronounce that.
Wait a minute.
That's like the.
That's a
chosen
spoiler
one.
from the book, essentially.
Oh, okay. So this is a character from the book.
It's it's part of the prophecy, the Dune prophecy.
See,
the Fremen.
I'm just not good.
So
at this.
dope.
Mike,
So
you're just not cultured enough.
I'm
know
not
these kind of
cultured.
things.
I like sci-fi. I love sci-fi. No, Vonnegut. I love Vonnegut. I love Philip K. Dick. I mean, these are some classic sci-fis.
Whoa, Kat! Spoilers. Come on now.
Spoiler alert! Shit.
Oh, damn it, Kat! I was not gonna read that book at all.
Spoilers from a book from like the
damn it.
60s.
They sound good, except Dune. Sorry.
Dune's a lot. It's a big book.
Penny, what's up, buddy? You haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming back in. I owe you a song. I still owe you a song, Penny, and I might do that myself today. I might do that just for you because you were so generous at the thingy. But I might have to sing it myself, so I'm sorry. You might have to deal with me singing it. So, but I want to do it for you. Play my song. You know what, Moving Dutchman? You calm yourself, okay? Where's your never mind. I watched the movie once and it was not for me. I even have one of the books his son wrote, and it has
The old movie,
robots.
by the way, it was not good.
The 80s one or the newer one?
No, I mean, I don't think has the newer one come out yet.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
But the one from the 80s, it's rough.
Yeah, I couldn't get through it.
I enjoyed the audiobook version. The audiobook version was pretty good.
Don't let the movies deter you, because that book is amazing.
Yeah.
So incredibly good.
It's what many of the tropes of Star Wars, Star Trek, Warhammer, a lot of like modern sci-fi worlds take like a ton of their tropes and they're based off. It's kind of like Tolkien, and the Lord of the Rings world is to modern fantasy what Frank Herbert and Dune is to modern sci-fi.
Oh, sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Well said.
My friend is very much into it. Asimov. What's the fuck's his name?
Isaac Asimov.
Yes, that's another one. I've read a couple of his books. They're pretty good.
Yeah, we missed a question back here.
Yeah.
Oh, did we?
Freddy, Jason, or other. This is from Penny.
Freddy, Jason, or other.
Yeah.
Now, what is this? Like best killer, person who I'd least like to be murdered by?
Sure.
Best hat. What are we looking at?
No, I think just what's your favorite scary movie villain? I think that's the case.
Favorite, yeah, that's it.
Hank, you want to start?
I was gonna ask you the same, but
Okay.
honestly, I think I actually haven't I wouldn't think of Freddy if you just asked me like what's your favorite scary movie villain, but I feel like as a concept, that's just so utterly terrifying that I'm just gonna go with Freddy. I mean, such a great villain, like just fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, someone who gets you at your most vulnerable state. Yeah, that's fucking terrifying.
Horrible. And in your dreams, like it can be so much worse, I feel, in your dreams than in real life in a way.
Yeah.
Good God. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going either Freddy or Jason, I feel like I gotta go Freddy. But I'm trying to think of another like famous horror movie villain that can top it. That's a tough one.
It's like,
I mean, I think Freddy takes the cake of
Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, fucking.
Yeah, I mean, Leatherface. I mean, unless you go to their house, you're
Edward
probably going to
Scissorhands.
be fine.
Yeah, like just stay
not
out of
that scary.
Texas. Just don't go
Yeah,
to
just
Texas.
stay off of the fucking road.
Yeah, just don't drive.
Back ass highways. I mean, that movie. I mean, you could take the advice of that movie and apply it to actual travel. Like, you probably shouldn't wander into random properties in West Texas, way off of the highway. Just generally not a good
It's
idea.
not a good idea. Now, Michael from Halloween? Michael.
Yeah, Michael Myers is
Michael
a
Myers.
good one.
But he's not like magical like fucking
Yeah, you can
Freddy.
run. You can run from Michael Myers.
Yeah, he's always walking. He's like never jogging. He's never out of breath. He's just always walking, but yet catches up to these fucking people, and they're always tripping over stuff. So it's like, just be careful and run away. You'll be fine. But Freddy, I think you're right. I think I'm gonna go with Freddy too. Penny, good question. I think I'm gonna go with Freddy because he has the power to travel within your dreams. And when you're in your dreams, man, and you're asleep, what the fuck can you do? I mean, everybody's had a horrible nightmare where they woke up and thought it was real and shit was. Oh God, do you guys have like a reoccurring nightmare that happens to you guys at all, or do you have one that
I
sticks
did when
out?
I was a kid.
Really? Was it
I had
you falling?
I had this fucked up dream where like I was at like a carnival and this huge obese lady with sharp teeth was fucking grilling up my family members on the barbecue like every time. It was fucked up.
Shit.
It was fucking, oh God, that was bad.
That's pretty good.
I see this one. I have had sleep paralysis before.
Hold on. We'll get there. Hold on. First, you answer. Do you have a nightmare situation?
A recurring nightmare? Yes.
Either reoccurring
I have
or one that
dreams.
What?
So, thalassophobia is the fear of like deep water.
Oh my God.
That like you can't see through. So I often have and I live on like the coast of Florida, so I got into the ocean a lot and I got swimming a lot. So I have a lot of dreams where I'll like be either dropped into water or for some reason I'll have to get into water and there will be some leviathan that devours me. So it's a classic thing of like, instead of right before you hit the ground, you wake up, it's like right before the mouth chomps on you, I wake up. I have those still.
Okay. And then hold on. We didn't get there. We didn't get there yet because we do have another question and Kat just threw it in all willy-nilly. So we got to like, okay, Snog. And then we'll get back to, I promise we'll get back to your question. Khakis, we'll get back to your question, I promise, but I'm trying to be fair here. Snog, marry, or avoid. So like, what was that? Bang, marry, or
Fuck, marry, kill.
I think this is the nice version of that. So snog, marry, or avoid. So who's your three? Go ahead.
This is the
Nate.
Canadian version.
No, this is the UK version.
Yeah, I guess Snog's British.
Yeah. So then who would you snog, marry, or avoid, starting with Nate?
I thought it was you have to give a person.
What do you mean? Oh, do you have to give a person? Oh yeah, my bad.
I thought it was like this person, snog, marry, avoid.
Oh, well there you go. Who are we doing that with? Cat is out of Freddie Michael. Okay. Well, there you go. That's a great one. That is a great way to do it. So, snog, marry, or avoid. Go, Nate. Let's go.
So I gotta avoid Freddie.
Okay, good.
I'd rather do fuck, marry, kill on this because I don't want Freddie near me.
Right.
And Jason, I don't know. He might not be looking. The nice thing about this is that both Jason and Michael, you don't have to look at the face. They could be really ugly. Freddie is like, you got that like weird ass, like burnt up face. So there's no like putting the bag over it. So I got to put Freddie on the avoid/kill list. As far as like the snog versus marry, I mean, I feel like Michael Myers is probably my marrying choice because he had like a relationship with his therapist. He kind of like developed a sort of like I don't know what to call it, like an enjoyment of having him around, so he didn't want to kill him. Like Jason, I don't think I'd trust Jason with a long-term relationship, but I might be able to work on Michael.
Yeah. That's good. That's good logic there. Hank, how about you, bud?
Oh man, I'm not sure if I have any logic for this one, but
I don't. Who you lock lips with?
oh, let's see. I mean,
Me too,
you
Bonnie.
I gotta see what's going on getting down with Freddie. I mean, I'm sure he's been in some wet dreams, so he probably knows how to get down.
He's gonna get
You
kinky.
can make my dreams come true. You know what I mean?
Ah, damn, that's good though. That's good. If you could get on his good side, he could like make shit happen, son.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's not
That's
a
what I'm
bad.
saying, bro.
It's not a bad plan.
Oh,
That is not a
man.
bad plan.
But like not enough to marry him because he's fucking fugly, dude. Like straight up. He's just
So he's just more.
nasty looking.
You're shallow, Hank.
You are shallow. You shallow.
I mean, he's kind
bastard.
of a dick too. Like, come on.
But he's funny. He's also funny. He's like hilarious too.
That's true.
So
That's
he-
true. He's
you
got a
know,
sense of humor.
he
He
has
could
a
probably
good- that
talk
goes
his
a long
way
way.
into pants.
Yeah, that goes
I
a
might
long
have
way
to-
with me.
That's actually that might sway me. No, but and then the other two, I mean, shit. I don't know. I can I'll marry Jason. We can play hockey together and stuff. You know.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Penny. He can shapeshift too, so he could just be like the girl of your dreams or
damn.
person of your
That's a good
dreams.
point.
So
Genius.
Penny coming with it. Okay, so you were thinking marry Jason or wait, where was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Marry.
then we can do like we
Outdoor
can have an
activities.
active lifestyle. You know.
Yes.
He likes going camping.
Like going for swims. Yeah, like it's great. Yeah. And then so you would avoid Michael Myers.
I'd avoid him.
Why? Why Michael?
Honestly, I just don't feel that connection, you know.
Yeah, I feel you. And Halloween only
I feel like
comes
he's
once a
definitely
year.
the best looking of the three.
Probably, yeah. Probably. He has all his hair at least,
Yeah.
That's nice.
You got to have chiseled features to fill out that mask.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And he's a big dude. He's a big dude. So he's
Yeah,
probably
yeah, he's-
packing some
Yeah.
serious heat down there.
He's
so
jacked.
He's jacked. Fucking has dick for days. So,
I bet you he'd make you feel safe in his arms
that's
if you really
true.
wanted to.
That's true. That's true. I mean, he is your protector. Okay, so khakis. We're finally back to khakis. Thank you for being patient, khakis. But we have from horror. I want to ask: Have any of you had sleep paralysis? So Nate was going into this, and I interrupted him.
Yeah,
just
sorry. I jumped the gun.
No, it's okay. And honestly, I'm sure people want to hear about your sleep paralysis more than who we would bang, what evil villain we would bang. But anyways, please tell us about your sleep paralysis.
Yeah, I have a weird sleeping disorder, which they diagnosed as idiopathic hypersomnia, which is like scientific fancy talk for you're like super sleepy and we don't know why. But I've had sleep paralysis a bunch of times. It's like somewhat similar to narcolepsy, where in narcolepsy you're like a certain part of your sleep cycle is jacked up, and for me it's just a different part of the sleep cycle.
Wow.
And so yeah, I remember one time the freakiest part. This made me actually like start like changing around where I keep shit in my room. I was living in kind of a bachelor pad at this point, and I had like my gun and a knife, like, in like a drawer, because I was the only person living here and hardly anybody ever came up. And I had this crazy dream, this sleep paralysis dream. I don't know if any of you have ever had sleep paralysis. A lot of times, like, it seems like you're in your room or wherever you're at, but like you can't move and like, but everything seems real. Like you don't realize that it's a dream. And so in this particular episode, it seemed like somebody was coming into my room, like breaking in.
Whoa, shit.
So and it happened like over and over and over again. So like the scene would play out where my door would creak open, a black shadow would come into the room and start walking towards me, and I'd like try and break through the paralysis to get through it. and then I'd fall back asleep for a quick second, and then I'd wake up, and the same thing would repeat itself.
Oh, Jesus
And after a
Christ, that's
few, I
horrible.
kind of broke through the paralysis a little bit, and I got out of my bed. And I once again, like, I don't realize, I'm like barely aware at this point in the real world. And I woke up after having this for a while, and I woke up like on the floor, and I had my gun in my hand.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
And luckily I didn't keep it loaded, but like I had somehow like gotten my gun out of the drawer and then fallen onto the ground and then like laid there, and that's where I ended up waking up and having, I think actually having the gun in my hand like snapped me out of it, because like I had this jolt of like, oh my God, there's a fucking gun in my hand. And that's like what, like I fully woke up at that point. And so I keep my gun much safer nowadays. That was some years ago, but
Jeez, I hope
But
so.
isn't that not sleep paralysis though? Like you had sleep paralysis in your dream, but if you were moving, then you weren't paralyzed.
I couldn't move at first, and normally, yeah, it's like you can't move, but because what it essentially is like there's certain parts of your body, of your brain, that like shut down your movement. And you wake up, but the movement part's still shut down. So usually and this is a little less scary in one way. I just wanted to say that one because it was dramatic. But usually what happens is that I have a hard time breathing.
Oh, wow.
So like I'll wake up and I'll like feel like I can't breathe, and I'll be trying to take in breath, but I can't move and I can't breathe. And then I'll fall back asleep. And usually the dreams that go along with that are some kind of suffocation dreams or something like that, where I'm like underwater or something.
Oh,
and then
God.
I fully can't move. But I think that I honestly just like fell out of bed. I don't think I was moving much, but you're right. It is like, there's a little bit of ambiguity there between like, okay, well, was I sleep paralysis? Was it sleepwalking? But it's all kind of the same thing, where the mechanisms of sleep are kind of misfiring and not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, because I've experienced sleep paralysis one time, and it was like it was fucking terrifying. Like just waking up and then trying to move and just not being able to move. And then like, yeah, you kind of still have, because as you were saying, like you're still, I don't know, it's some kind of weird like crossed wire thing happening while you're in the dream state or like deep sleep. So I had, you have or at least for me, having a very like active imagination at that time, and just like seeing shit in the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
And just not being able to move. Like it's fucking terrifying. Super, super scary.
Yeah. No, no shit, man. That is terrifying. My God. And you woke up with your fucking gun in your hand, Nate, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's
Scary
sketchy,
shit.
dude.
Oh, that's
I've woken up outside before.
Jesus. Well, is it like sleep? Because Bonnie was wondering if it was like sleepwalking.
Yeah, like I've experienced a lot of different stuff. I think certain things that I've done, and also just getting a little older, have mitigated certain things. I think actually smoking a lot of weed helps, because weed, and that sounds like I'm just being goofy, but I mean it. Like weed shuts down certain areas of not shuts down, but it dampens certain areas of your sleep cycle, like your REM sleep. So whenever I don't smoke weed, I have like really wild, vivid dreams, and that's normal whenever people get off of it. But that was the case even before I started smoking.
Wow.
And I think that it helps mitigate some of that issue for me. But I also think that I was having a really stressful time whenever I was younger. So a lot of these episodes came about at some of the most like difficult, stressful times in my life, especially whenever I was like a teenager and things like that. And so and of course there's a lot of hormones going on then. So certain developmental things go into it. And if I'm having like a really stressful day at work, I usually have worse issues with sleeping and dreams and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think there's a lot of like brain chemistry that goes into it.
Absolutely. Are you on any kind of like medication, any kind of psych meds?
I've tried certain medications. I've tried both sleeping medications. This stuff called modafinil, which is a generic for Provigil, which is like a it's kind of like
brain thing, right?
a more mild version of Adderall. It's like a focus drug. I
But
tried
it's not
that.
speed though, right? It's
Yeah, it's a stimulant.
it is a stimulant.
And
yeah, it's like what people were calling the what's the pill that they were calling it, that Bradley Cooper movie?
oh yeah, the
Limitless.
brain pill, which is fucking nonsense. I've taken modafinil before, and it does not turn you into some fucking super smart person. I've taken Adderall too, and honestly, like taking Adderall to me was stronger than taking modafinil. But
yeah.
And then I got prescribed an SSRI one time, and all of these things, none of them, like, they would work with certain symptoms, but really, like, what has, and this is people are going to hate me for this, and I'm not saying that psych drugs don't work and that you shouldn't try medications for certain issues that you're having. But for me personally, it's like those medications, they'll deal with like 5-10% of something. They'll knock the edge off of some problem I have. If I really want to mitigate the issue itself, I have to look at my diet. I have to look at my exercise. I have to look at how much alcohol I'm drinking, how much stress I'm under, what kind of social time I'm having. Am I being reclusive? Am I expressing myself creatively? Like, I have to have an overall like wellness balance in my life. And that will take care of, 75% of my symptoms. Whereas, or I could deal with, 10-15% of them getting taken care of by the medication. So that's a lot of work, and it's difficult, and I'm not good at it all the time. But I think that, that's the real medicine for most issues that people have, is just like an actual healthy lifestyle. And not saying, like I said, not saying that medicine isn't necessary and that people shouldn't, should stop taking their meds if they need them to live a healthy lifestyle. That's obviously a stupid way to think. And there's a lot of people who've gotten hurt thinking that way. But I think that's where you need to start.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that 100%. Like, before even going and looking into medication is like taking looking at what you're doing every day, what's your the really good idea is like making, like, if you're trying to get a hold of like your habits and stuff, like start writing things down. Like, so like if you're trying to get a hold of your eating habits, literally write down the time and exactly what you ate throughout the day of your normal eating habits, and then look at it, and then just you're gonna see. I mean, if you're trying to change something, you're gonna see what you're gonna want to change, because you're gonna see it like at 1 o'clock ate lunch, at 2 o'clock had a snack, at 2:30 got a handful of popcorn. Yeah, I get at 3 o'clock I drank a cup of coffee and ate a sweet roll, and then at fucking 4 o'clock I had a piece of candy and this and that. And it really does. It really does. When you take that sort of inventory of what you're doing in your life, you really do see like how fucked up you can be, right? Like it's just like it takes a lot. I'm the same way, Nate. I'm the same way where there's a lot to manage. Like, I have to manage what I'm eating. If I eat too much sugar, I get depressed. If I'm not working out, I get depressed. I get cranky. If I'm not sleeping well, there's just so much. And I think a lot of people probably don't even recognize this, and they're just going through with the momentum of life, just like, I'm going, drinking coffee and Red Bull, fuck it, let's do it, and not really thinking about those sort of repercussions. And then when it comes to like handling these problems, it's like, well, I don't know what's going on. I'll just take this pill and fuck it, whatever. I'll just take the pill, and that way I don't have to do any work on myself other than eat this pill every morning, and that will fix my problems. It's like, even taking that pill isn't a guarantee. I feel extremely lucky because I'm somebody who was against those SSRIs and medications for a very long time, only because I was super medicated as a child with Ritalin and weight loss pills that were they were trying to use as like a Ritalin, and it just they experimented on me, and so I just have like this thing against these prescription drugs. And then
Yeah.
it just got to that point over this last year where it was like, man, I'm sick of not being able to manage this shit. Like, it's just like I do everything I can and it still is just, I'm still an asshole. So I tried medications and my God, it has fucking changed the game for me. And that's just for me, you know, it's just for me. I don't like sleeping pills either. I smoke weed to shut off the noisiness, you know, like I smoke weed so I don't have to deal with fucking dreams that fucking haunt me all day. You know, it's like it's just easier for me. And this pill is just another sort of tool, and it doesn't necessarily, you know, take away, you know, it doesn't necessarily take away the depression or take away the anxiety or take away my temperamental mood. But it does sort of give me a little bit of time to process what's going on and sort of get a control over my reactions, because it's really my reactions to stress is what fucking fucks my world up. So like having that like split second of time to sort of be like, okay, this is what's happening. You're not really mad about that. You're just mad because you're blah, 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 blah. They have nothing to do with this. So you projecting your shit onto them is going to do nothing for anybody. And in that split second, I can have this sort of quick conversation with myself where it helps me to cope with my you know, quixotic temperament. So it's Celexa. I'm on Celexa. It definitely helps you stop from eating all the extra crap because it causes you to be accountable and actually register that you ate it exactly. AKA, you can't manage what you don't measure. Well, you know what? You know, it's hard to, I get what you're saying, but it's just, you know, like I know how I react and I know, and I can sort of like prep myself internally to sort of, because you're not going to be able to stop the bad things that happen to you throughout the day for the most part, you know, like chaos and all that. But you can sort of build up this inner strength where you can sort of mitigate these these reactions. And you can sort of know how you react to certain situations and have sort of a game plan internally to sort of deal with that. And so you can't really measure. I get that, but you could definitely.
I think they were talking about writing your food choices down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at me just talking. I'm just talking, guys. I'm such a dick. Here, weed is illegal, so it does not really help me, even though I have heard it could help my condition. CBD is CBD legal there, khakis, because CBD is very cool. Cool. I took Celexa for 2 years for PTSD, saved my life. Yo, Celexa, man, it fucking, I don't know, you know, like I was so against all this. And when you hear about like these fucking mass shooters, they're always hopped up on these fucking anti-psych meds, you know? So it's like, in my head, it's like take psych meds, turn into a mass shooter and a you know, just a numb shell of a human being. That was my brain, you know, like.
Well, you're doing what you should be doing. You're doing all those like, you're getting that 75%, and I was talking about like you're living a healthy lifestyle, and then if you get that extra 15% from the medication, okay, we are at 90%, and then okay, I'm just a little off, but I can manage that. Like the problem is people using these medications as a substitute for a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. Relying on these things as like the cure-all instead of actually putting in any kind of work to make yourself better. People don't want to better themselves. They just want an easy answer.
Yeah.
And that's where you run into problems. And right now I'm on this idea that I kind of want to up my own dosage. And my wife's like, please talk to the doctor first. And I'm like, well, I think my body's getting...
That's smart, Reina.
But I know my body, goddammit. And like, I can tell the meds are starting to wear off. I need 10 more milligrams and I'll be back to where I'm at. Dr. Schmacher.
Maybe you do, but I do. It's always smart to talk to your doctor about it.
Absolutely. And by the way, everybody, if you're worried about the vaccine, please consult a doctor. Nah, all right, I'm not gonna go there.
Don't consult a YouTube video. Consult a doctor.
Don't do that. It's not good. It's not good. So what is this? Your Bonnie? Your Bonnie? What the hell is this?
It looks like
dioxazine.
Dioxazine.
That's the purple.
Oh, that's the purple.
Turns out dioxazine is actually the key COVID
Yeah, it's the key
therapeutic.
Yeah, it's the key. Forget ivermectin. Have you tried?
Yeah, fuck ivermectin. It's dioxazine. We got to
Dioxazine.
purple up that blood just a little bit.
Eat some bugs.
It kills it.
Shut up, Bonnie. You got me. You got me. How dare you?
Got him.
Got him. Damn the man indeed. Well, okay. So here's the deal, guys. Do you guys got to go? Do you got about 10 more minutes, or are you guys good to go?
I got 10 minutes.
I
How
got
about-
10 minutes. It's getting pretty late here, but
Well, hey,
I'm
if you
down
gotta-
to stick around a little bit.
This was Prince's secret. Yeah. Okay. So I want to do a couple things. If you guys got to go, I understand. But I'm gonna do a quick performance of Hot Boy Summer, and then I'm gonna try to do something for Penny, but I don't know how this is gonna turn out. And Penny told me to forget about it, but now I'm sort of like in for the challenge, so who knows?
Yeah.
So if you guys gotta
Should
go
we
pee
mute
or
our shit? No, I'm in for it.
do your thing. I got 10 minutes too. I lied. I have more.
Should we mute ourselves here?
It don't matter. You guys can do whatever you want. You guys, you don't have to mute yourself. You can just laugh and interject however you want. Laugh. God, how big of a dick am I? You guys can just sit there and roll and
Just
laugh.
sit there and enjoy my fantastic performance, all right? Just sit there and be
soak it in.
thankful.
You know, it's been kind of hot outside. The wind's blowing. That hot heat. Life seems to get pretty sticky sometimes when you're living in Ohio. Gets pretty hot. Oh shit, hold on. It gets real hot. Oh, okay, never mind. What's going on? Hold on, we'll try this again. There we go. Oh, we're gonna do it. We're doing it. I drink my White Claw while I buy my Bitcoin with my Biden bucks. I jam EDM while I rub one out to Joe Rogan's podcast. MMA, bitch. Give me a hot boy summer. It's gonna be hot boy summer. It's gonna be hot boy summer. It's gonna be a hot boy summer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pop Molly pills, drink muscle milk while I'm smoking my douche flute. I hit on a girl that told me to put my shirt back on. Flex on a tread. It's gonna be a hot boy summer. It's gonna be hot boy summer. It's gonna be hot boy summer. It's gonna be a hot boy summer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dear baby Jesus, I need a lifted truck. Dear baby Jesus, I need a lifted truck. Dear baby Jesus, can you lift my truck up higher? Higher! It's gonna be a hot boy summer. It's gonna be hot boy summer. It's gonna be a hot boy summer. It's gonna be hot boy summer. It's gonna be hot. Well, there you go, guys. Hot boy summer, live and direct. Cathosaurus, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you're leaving, I understand that this has been quite a quite a journey. Penny. I have a text from Reina. It must mean that I need to get the fuck out of here. Let's see. Let me see. Don't do Penny song. Okay, cool. Never mind, Penny. Mighty, thank you so much for those biddies. Okay. So then it's time to raid. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Again, the podcast is called Casual Cognition. If you enjoyed these fellers here today, then make sure you're out there and you go and support them. Here is the link to the Spotify, but you'll be able to listen to it for free on Spotify, but also it's everywhere you stream your podcast. So you can just do a simple search for Casual Cognition. I wish I would have put all their fucking socials in here, but I'm a fucking burnout, and this is what happens.
No worries. We're really mostly on like we have an Instagram, but we're not super social media active. We're a little old school, but yeah. We have an email on there, so if anybody wants to send us an email, we've done a lot of like listener request topics.
There you go.
I know that sounds really old school, but yeah, the podcast
email.
email, send us a topic, or you know, we got a Discord set up. We gotta send us a message on Instagram.
They love you guys. You want to do the Graceful
love you.
Bard? I think we should do the Graceful Bard too. I love the Graceful Bard. Everybody get your raid calls. Remember, Monday. Oh, yes. And everybody in the Discord, I'm going to jump in the Discord afterwards if you guys want to debrief or do whatever. Do you have a fax number? Calm down, Cat.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that set up.
I'll be jumping.
Actually, I have a smoke signal set up. It's going to be in the southeastern United States. So if you stand on the nearest mountaintop somewhere in the Appalachians, you should be able to see my smoke signals.
Yeah, just nationwide smoke signals. Yo, isn't it crazy that New York City is getting hit with that smoke from the West Coast?
It's fucking nuts.
Oh,
The jet stream is causing some wild shit.
Good times. All right, guys, we are going to go and raid the Graceful Bard, who has been a guest on this show and who is just the kindest, sweetest, most awesome human being.
Thanks for having us on, Mike.
I just want to say, yeah, thank you for having us on, Mike, and thanks everyone in the chat for hanging out. This was super, super fun, and yeah, much love. This was dope.
Yeah, I had a good time too, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on and bringing your wisdom to us. And Bonnie loves it. So everybody get your raid call. Again, I'm going to be in the Discord for a little while. So if you guys want to chat it up. And again, if you guys are interested in going and watching the phenomenon, please do jump in the Discord and let's watch it. It's going to be around 4 o'clock tomorrow in the D. We're going to watch the movie. I'm going to rent it off of Amazon Prime. Bezos! And then we'll watch it. So what the fuck is going on? Why is my raid not working? Oh, is that what? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, because I never pushed enter. Jesus, Mike, you are a piece of fucking work. Okay, this time I'm for real. We're leaving. We're heading over to the Graceful Bard, who is an amazing loop artist. Yes, I need some aftercare. Thank you. Yeah, let's chat. Pro stream. Yeah, I'm a pro streamer.
I'll hop in the Discord in a bit.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm gonna go pee, have a little snack, and I'll be in there in a little bit. I'm gonna say hi to the Graceful Bard, do my thing, and then I'll jump in there. We'll chat it up and debrief. And oh yeah, I should probably do this before we go. If you guys are interested. Boom. There it is. If you guys want to jump in last minute. All right, guys, let's go say hi to Graceful Bard. Remember, on Monday, there's no day stream. We'll be streaming at 12:30 a.m. 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, Monday night, or way Tuesday morning. All right, Kat, I'll see you there. Thanks for being here. Much love, guys. I will see y'all. I got to start doing this, by the way. I got to start. There we go. All right, guys. We're out of here. We're going to go say hi to Graceful Bard. Everybody be nice and give her love. Love you. Bye. Mwah, mwah. Kisses. Bye. All right.